and you will be given 3 minutes. I'll set a timer, and when the timer goes off, that's your time now to end. So first we have Carrie Humphrey. Is Carrie Humphrey here?
With the Southeast Rockford TIF vote, what would Jesus do? He's coming back, and his command is for us to love God and love people. Data centers harm people. The time is now to repent and turn away from wickedness, including greed. We are all in need of a Savior. It's becoming very clear in these days. Give your life to Jesus before it's too late. You do not want to be here when God pours out his wrath upon those who thought they didn't need him. That time is coming. So, the TIF, currently this is already very ecologically fragile land. There are at least 2 Superfund sites, an active dump and an old dump nearby. Also nearby is the Kishwaukee River, which is one of the cleanest rivers in the state, and it supports at least 44 threatened or endangered plants and animals. Imagine what building an unregulated data center near the Kish, with all the ensuing air, land, water, and noise pollution they bring, and data centers are known to disregard regulations. The EPA found dangerous cancer-causing forever chemicals in the water at the Mancuso's mobile home park nearby the possible site. These chemicals do not break down and cause cancer. One of the many of those chemicals found there is over 1,500 times the safe amount. What happens if these forever chemicals are pulled into this data center and then thrown out into the air? I've heard that this may be a closed-loop data center and therefore safer. These systems often require chemical treatments, including antifreezes. If a leak occurs, these can enter the soil or waterways right next to the Kish and a forest preserve. Maybe that's why the Forest Preserve Board is unanimously against the TIF vote, and you should listen to them. Data centers produce infrasound, which can cause dizziness, lack of sleep, nausea, fatigue, headache, panics, feelings of dread, stress, and anxiety. Particulate matter released from data centers causes worsening asthma, lung and cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, and premature death. An analysis cautioned that children, asthmatics, and older adults with pre-existing heart and lung conditions have the highest risk. And it's not just those who live near the data center bearing the health risk. Another study found that these air pollutants can travel hundreds of miles. So if you think this will just affect the people nearby the data center, you're sorely mistaken. Hundreds of miles. Think about that and your responsibility for the health of the people who live here and around here. If you will not consider the cost of actual people's deaths and illnesses, maybe you will consider that this will put a burden on our healthcare system monetarily. This won't bring long-term jobs. It gives tax breaks to rich people, and it's not a blighted area. Where's the incentive for the citizens of Rockford and surrounding areas? Do you think the healthcare system being bogged down with sick people is going to help us? Do you care about the people you represent? I implore you to seek God's will in this far-reaching decision and for all lives in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Denzel Winter.
Good evening, City Council people. We have a holiday coming up, Juneteenth, and I don't think a lot of people know what the significance of that was. June 19th, 1865, black slaves in Texas finally found out that they were free. And the way they found out that they were free was that the Union soldiers that occupied the city told them that they were free. You know, and the thing that gets me is that we have Juneteenth. We have the shortest month of the year for us to celebrate. But here they wanted to give Charlie Kirk a holiday. For what? Speaking prejudice, downgrading people of color. We need to wake up, people, because the time is coming. There's a reckoning coming. And just like that lady said, Jesus is coming. He's just around the corner. And I don't think a lot of us are going to want to be here when he comes. We need to start putting more emphasis on being more like brothers instead of enemies, instead of wasting money destroying other countries, instead of wasting money trying to steal people's oil. That's why we're having the problem we're having now, the oil prices. They're starting to come down, they say, but how long is that going to last? Until the election is over with? We'll find out soon. Hopefully, people wake up and see what's going on. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Next, we have Prophet Youssef.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the book of Acts, the first chapter, the 8th verse, it says, you should receive power when the Holy Ghost come upon you. What I want to speak about tonight, Medicaid cuts will hurt poor people. Medicare and Medicaid were hard-won concessions to decades of organizing, not gifts. Stripping them away is a violent act of economic and social warfare, particularly in a country where black people already die younger, suffer longer, and receive less care. These cuts will accelerate deaths from preventable disease, drive elders into unpayable debt, and then throw disabled people into crisis. This policy is crafted to hurt poor people beyond the meat aid that Medicaid provides. There is a snowball effect of its erosion. Medicaid isn't just a program, it's a lift for a fragile, unequal society. Remove it and the whole thing collapses. When you defund Medicaid, you accelerate eviction, school dropouts, homelessness, poverty, hunger, untreated trauma, and preventable deaths. Since 2015 to 2024, 230 hospitals have closed in the United. By cutting Medicaid, more hospitals would be closing in the United, and more nursing homes and dialysis, because they depend on Medicaid to pay their bills. You also push people into the criminal justice system, where jails become psychiatric holding cells. The snowball turns into an avalanche. Emergency rooms overflow. Community clinics shut down. And black families are left with funerals instead of follow-up to see a doctor. This is done intentionally, stripping care from poor people and funneling public funds into private insurance is how capitalism enforces obedience. It's also set up for the rich to get richer and the poor stay poor so they can control the. My solution? To solve this problem, all followers of Jesus Christ should stand up and speak up and say, we are tired of paying taxes, and this government is not giving us anything in return. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Next is John Tack Brantley.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara, our aldermen, and our citizens of Rockford, Illinois. I'm going to start out by saying I've been coming here since 2009 speaking. Last time I got a proclamation was in 2017 from the mayor. I was highly upset when I seen the mayor give the Italians a proclamation saying Columbus discovered America. Columbus did not discover America. The Europeans conquered America, and they stepped on the toes of the Native Americans here. Also, I want to bring up the fact that here the Democrats got 38% of the people that came out and vote. Republicans had 20%. Independents have 41.5% of the people who came out and vote. We got over 18,000 registered voters here that's African Americans. Only 3,000 of them voters came out and vote during the last election. Coming up this year, November, is a very important election year. We are going to be cleaning up in Black Hawk housing area on the 17th, next Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about and getting people to register to vote. I'm also working on building a voters block. And lo and behold, Alderman Bell is going to realize that his ward is my stronghold and what have you. So the people look up to me. And when I speak, and carrying on, they hear me speak and they know that I'm telling the truth. I had a meeting with Gina Minks, Alderman Gina Minks the other day, and we was talking about working with our youth that's in juvenile and working with our youth that's being suspended out of school. She mentioned about my taxes. I mentioned, but she don't realize my taxes, and the judge spent 3 minutes talking about how they have meetings in the judge's chambers, talking about the way that I do the things in the community and how they wish there was 10 more Brother John. The correctional centers talk about Brother John. The juvenile detention centers talk about Brother John. The tactics that I use. The tactics I use is because the way I was brought up. I am the last original of the Black Panther Party, the vanguards, the Mandinka warriors of the Black Panther Party. When I majored in social justice and physical education, I got a BA, 3.8.5 in a BA. I got a master in cross culture and race relations, got 4.12. Cross culture and race relations. But if you don't have a doctorate or a PhD in these streets, you just an educated fool. And that's why I got so much respect in the community, and that's why I do things the way I do. That data center, Camp Grant, is where they want to put that data center at, that's a no-no. They had over 2,500 POWs at that Camp Grant Center, and they treated the POWs from Europe better than they did the blacks. Booker Washington was a reservation. It wasn't a center. How you dare brag about we couldn't go nowhere but to Booker Washington Center. We couldn't go to downtown area unless we were with a white person. And we couldn't go across the bridge unless we were with a white person. That's Jim Crow, and Jim Crow is still alive and well. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Next,
you need to vote.
we have
Vote for me.
Jackie Di Battista.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara and distinguished members of City Council. Thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak tonight. My name is Jackie De Battista. I am the Executive Director at Farmers Rising and a member of the Food Insecurity Task Force in Rockford. In 2024, the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence convened a food insecurity summit. Following that summit, a task force of more than 75 individuals representing over 20 local nonprofits and social service agencies, including Farmers Rising, began meeting monthly to identify practical solutions that could be implemented in Rockford to ensure that every resident, regardless of neighborhood or income, has regular access to high-quality, affordable food. One solution, first championed by the late NAACP President George Scott, successfully implemented by the Hunger Task Force in Milwaukee, and before you tonight for funding consideration, is a mobile grocery store. A mobile grocery store is exactly what it sounds like. It's not a food pantry, but instead a grocery store on wheels that brings fresh, affordable food directly into neighborhoods where access to healthy groceries is limited. The Rockford Mobile Grocery Store is a partnership between Farmers Rising and City Center Market that combines the strength of a nonprofit organization with those of a local food retailer. City Center Market will ensure the mobile grocery store is stocked with fresh produce, dairy products, lean meats, eggs, and other essential grocery items, while Farmers Rising will administer the program to keep it mission-driven, create market opportunities for local farmers, and leverage both public and private funding to help subsidize food costs and keep prices affordable for residents. Recent reductions in federal SNAP benefits are adding to this challenge, while food prices continue to rise. For many families, the choice between paying monthly bills and putting food on the table is becoming increasingly difficult. We are thankful the City of Rockford has adopted a policy to address food insecurity, and Farmers Rising's mobile grocery store initiative directly advances all 5 goals outlined in your policy. It will expand access to healthy, affordable food. It will support local food systems. It will prioritize residents most impacted by food insecurity. It will strengthen collaboration among nonprofits, businesses, and community partners, and it will establish a sustainable model that reduces the need for public support over time. At Farmers Rising, we believe everyone deserves access to fresh, healthy food. The Rockford Mobile Grocery Store will bring choice, dignity, and affordability to neighborhoods that have too often been left behind, and we look forward to partnering with the City of Rockford to make this vision a reality. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. All right, that concludes the public participation. Now, starting the legislative and lobbying meeting. We've taken roll. Under committee reports, we have one item, and it's for the renewal of the professional services contract with Zephyr Government Strategies for $10,000 per month for the City of Rockford's 2026 lobbying services. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second? I don't have the list of me who's on the committee. I'll second it. All right. Any questions or comments? Alderman Fronti.
I would like to lay this over for 30 days, please.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? Is there a second on the layover?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. It's committee, so we'll take a vote on it.
I would defer to Director Hammer, but I read that policy procedure.
Okay. Any discussion on the layover of the contract? Alderman Meeks.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say some of the reasoning behind this layover is we just received the end of session report, so I want a little bit of time to review that, as well as the talking points around some of our caucuses related to policies that we're bringing forward to our representative. So until we get an opportunity to meet and talk, we like to lay this item over to have time to do that.
Just in response to that, with respect to which caucuses are you referring to?
Say that again?
Which caucuses are you referring to?
I sit on the Democratic caucus, so I'm referring to the Democratic caucus.
Okay. And with respect to the strategies moving forward, because it hasn't been reviewed yet, is that what I'm hearing? As far as
The end of session report?
right, correct.
Right. So the end of session report came out on Friday, that was sent to us, and then I would like to review that policy, but then sit with the rest of the Democratic caucus to talk about policies that we would like to see move forward.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Any other comments? Okay. Alderman Bell.
Thank you, Chair, for allowing me to speak on your committee. This would be for Mr. Kignoni, if you may. Can you touch on some of the successes that the City of Rockford, in partnership with our lobbyists, has experienced this past session? Thank you.
So, certainly happy to do so, and Mr. Cassidy is here this evening as well, should the committee want to entertain any opportunity for him to comment on the overall strategies that he's been working on. But as you all may recall, we approve an annual list of items for consideration for our lobbying efforts. Last year, we did a 25-26 list of priorities. We provide that to Mr. Cassidy, and he continues to work on those efforts many times, transcending over many different sessions. But he's been, certainly when it comes to his overall success, we were talking about very specific legislative items, whether that's support of our objections to the bill legislation, whether that's historically related to lithosis, which is there's an item on the Codes and Regulations Committee tonight regarding our efforts on changing that legislation, securing grant dollars, and working with our local delegation on a host of initiatives. And I would say that's on the legislative directly. And additionally, he's a tremendous resource when we are working through different grant opportunities, whether that's a tourism grant for the City of Rockford directly or the region, or whether that's the DCO site readiness grant, which we are fortunate to get. Anytime those grant opportunities come in, we'll work with Mr. Cassidy to advance those forward. So that's a very brief explanation. Certainly, Mr. Cassidy would continue to communicate with the chair of the lobbying, first Alderman Trucci, now Alderman Frost, and certainly the mayor as well, should any of them have any direct statements they'd like to make.
Well, first, let's take a vote. Any more specific questions on the vote to lay it over? Okay. Go ahead and call the vote.
Tudor.
No.
Frost.
No.
Presti.
Aye.
Salgado.
Aye.
Meeks.
Aye.
3 ayes, 2 noes.
All right. Okay, that matter be laid over. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor indicate by aye. Aye? Opposed? Okay, this meeting is adjourned. All right, welcome to the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting held tonight, Monday, June 8th. Sir Clerk, will you please take roll?
Tuber. Aye. Here.
Here.
Beach. Here. Salgado. Present. Five present.
All right, thank you. First item is the information-only item. It's for a change order for the multi-use path to Everlast Blacktop. I believe it's to the one on Roth Road. There was a change order of $37,796.93, and this was to achieve ADA compliance at roadway crossings along the path, including wider and longer curb ramps, additional concrete, and detectable warning panels. Funding sources from the 1% infrastructure sales tax. Any questions for staff on the change order? All right. Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. Item 1 is approval of vouchers in the amount of $9,207,129.56. Is there a motion to approve vouchers?
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff on vouchers? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 2 is being held out at the staff's request. Item 3 is an IGA between the Board of Education 205 for police services. The term is from July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2028. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for staff? Alderman Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just once again, so I can hear those words. Are all of our costs recovered, pension included, for these service officers? So there's no out-of-pocket?
Ms. Haggerty?
City of
Yeah,
Rockford.
certainly during the, when school is not in session, for those employees that are only employed during the school year, then those officers come back on this, or are paid out of city funds, but they provide additional coverage during heavy vacation season and reduce overtime costs. So during the time that they are working at RPS, the costs of those officers are covered.
How many numbers are there? How many officers are we talking about?
It's 10 total, so 1 sergeant and 9 officers. 1 sergeant and 9 officers.
So, just, I don't want to belabor this, but can we afford the manpower, the trained, sworn manpower, to be diverted over to the school district, even though they're paying it, when we're trying to get qualified officers on the street to take care of us? And then it's not like they're broke. I just wondered how we can do that when we need the officers.
Well, who would like to address the affordability of it?
Well, I
Go ahead, Mr. Cagnoni.
we don't have these microphones. So I'm happy to provide some response in the chief's absence. This is an item that Director Hammer, Chief Red, and myself had communicated on. We typically have a bi-weekly meeting where we talk about ongoing strategies and efforts of the police department as well as current staffing levels. We do believe that this is an important component of our overall crime reduction strategies to have a direct connection within the schools, while also having the added benefit during the warmer months to be deployed in patrol or other activities. So it does come before you with a recommendation from the organization, including Chief Red.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've always supported this in the past, but when I start thinking about the fact that when we take away our administrative responsibilities from our police department and take away places like the school district and all that, and we have the number that's left is very few in relationship to dividing that up by 3 shifts on the street. I get a little jealous now when I see our police looking for more help. And we've got qualified people in the school district to be working outside in the streets or other places. So just a thought of your Mr. Chairman, and I will support it, but I just have my own thoughts on it.
All right, thank you. Any further questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Number 4 is a revision of the City of Rockford Rules and Regulations for the addition of a definition of illness, revised residency section, addition to cellular phone usage, addition to police for usage of computers, internet, and email, additions to Victim Economic Safety and Security Act leave as follows, including policy procedures, disclosures, employees concerned about domestic violence resources, in addition to item 5 to general employment policies. Is there a motion to approve the revisions?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All right, Alderman Meeks?
This, I didn't read up on this, so I guess my question is this what is going in our ordinance book, our rules and regulations? Is this an ordinance that we're talking about here?
Go ahead, Mr. Cagney.
So certainly willing to defer to Director Hunter, but this is the City of Rockford's adopted rules and regs that our personnel will follow unless there's a collective bargaining agreement.
That's good. Thank you so much.
All right, seeing no further questions, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Moving on to resolutions. Number 1 is an extension of contract for the Building Code Consulting Services to Fire Safety Consultants in the amount of $57,000 for consulting services and $9,600 to $10,008 per month for backup code official services. The contract is for 6 months. The funding source is the Construction Services and Development budget. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 2 is award a bid for citywide street repairs, group number 5, to Stenstrom Excavation, the amount of $392,950.99. The contract duration is through September 18, 2026. The funding sources are property funds and casino funds. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 3 is award of bid for excavation hauling package to Veterans Vac Services, the amount of $58,625. The contract is through August 20th, 2026, and the funding source is the CIP General Fund. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, Alderman Prunty.
I'm sorry, thank you. I just have a quick question regarding this. Veterans Vac Services, is this name, does this indicate that this is a veteran-owned business?
Yes.
Yes, it does indicate there. Does that fall under our minority-owned, or our, what's that category that we have?
We don't have specifically set aside a category for veteran-owned. We do have minority and women-owned businesses right now.
So, okay, all right. So this person didn't get any priority because they are veterans?
Correct, they did not.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passes. Item 4 is award of bid for rental of traffic control devices to FCS, an estimated annual amount of $400,000 based on unit pricing. It's a 1-year contract with 4 possible 1-year extension options. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered a contract renewal only, and the funding source are various departmental operating budgets. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 5 is a rejection of a bid and to solicit new bids for the Coronado Performing Arts interior lighting repair phase. Only one bid response was received. Is there a motion to reject?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor of rejecting indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item 6 is a rejection of bid solicit new bids for the Head Start and Early Head Start child care meals. Bids received did not meet the required nutrition specifications. Is there a motion to reject the bid?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Alderman Prunty.
Thank you again. So, we rejected this, we go look for some more. None of the bids met the nutrition specification. Who's gonna start in a few weeks? About 8 to a week, or let the program start back up, if it's not already going. Where's that gonna come from if we don't find it?
So we currently have a vendor who did not respond to this bid. We reached out to them, found out why they never received the notification. They had a new email address we didn't have on file. So we're going to send out bids again, clean up some of the specifications to make sure it's clear what the meal requirements are, to make sure that the vendor who did bid again, or bid on this one, could rebid as well. And the current vendor will continue to provide services until we make, yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. All right, the matter will be rejected. Item 7 is award of RFP for Housing and Urban Development Emergency Solutions Grant. The Health and Human Services received the grant in the amount of $195,054. The contract duration is 1 year, and the funding source is the HUD ESG. Is there a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 8 is approval and acceptance of the DCO Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, known as LIHEAP, in the amount of $4,030,301. The grant does not require a cost match, and the grant term is from June 1, 2026 to August 31, 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 9 is an approval and acceptance of the Illinois Department of Human Services Family and Community Services Homeless System Capacity Expansion Pilot Program Grant Award in the amount of $85,522. It also does not require a cost match, and the grant term is from July 1, 2026 to June 30, 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 10 is an acceptance and approval of the DCO Weatherization State Supplemental Grant Award in the amount of $482,759. It does not require a cost match. The grant term is from June 1, 2026 to September 30, 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 11 is acceptance and approval of the DCO Weatherization Health and Human Services Grant Award in the amount of $772,748. This grant does not require a cost match, and the grant term is also from June 1, 2026 to September 30, 2027. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 12 is an authorization for the reallocation of $200,000 in partnership with RAVE to reduce user costs for community events at Davis Park. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Alderman Meeks.
Can I get just like a rundown of what this is, please?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Alderman Meeks. So this is, in January of 2026, City Council approved $200,000 in casino funds for a DCO grant, a tourism grant, for a portion of the equipment that's being proposed to be purchased here, should this be authorized. We did not get that tourism grant approved. We went back to Rave and asked them to reduce what was a $400,000 plus budget to closer to $200,000. It's actually a little bit over $200,000, so that we could move forward with purchasing the most critical equipment related to audio and lighting to support community activities at Davis Park. The overall intent in January was to reduce costs for community members to utilize Davis Park, and that continues to be the effort. Rave would purchase this. They would use the equipment to support community events, but it would retain under the ownership of the city of Rockford.
Okay, did we do, maybe I'm forgetting, did we do like a portable sound system at BMO or Coronado?
So there was a system approved for Coronado. I wouldn't characterize it as mobile. It can be relocated, but there's costs associated with that. And the concern is that cost would be prohibitive for community members.
Okay, thank you so much.
Alderman Bell.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to ask a quick question from the managing side of the operation at Davis Park. Can you explain to us if we have a managing partner this far?
So our managing partner is Rave under an existing intergovernmental agreement.
Okay. Thank you. I heard a few maybe conversations about potentially Go Rockford, but it will be Legends Global, or is it Rave?
So Rave is so City of Rockford has an intergovernmental agreement with Rave, and then we hire Legends to do the operations. So technically both. And you would be correct, Alderman. In the past, we have had partnerships with Go Rockford for certain events and activities that they've led instead of Rave. And I anticipate that, based on our conversations, that relationship will continue, where we'll see some activities community-oriented that may be led by Go Rockford versus Rave.
Thank you.
Alderman Meeks.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on your committee. Is there a pricing structure that they presented for the cost of the equipment that the community would be able to benefit from?
So when you say a costing, you're not talking about the purchasing cost, but you're talking about what community members would?
Right,
so
for
we-
the actual
We've
equipment.
I don't have an exact breakdown, but in our conversations, we've talked about significantly reduced, if not no cost for certain elements, including the elements that are under consideration for purchase.
Okay, so can you, if you don't have the number, can you give me an idea of what significantly reduced looks like? I mean, I think I've seen in the past between like 2,500 and 7,500 to utilize certain things.
Yeah. So a lot of that would be driven by the cost for equipment, audio, or video, which now would be covered if this is approved by council.
Okay. All right.
Alderman Toonberg.
Thank you, Chairman. I know this didn't say in the actual item number we're on right now. It did say in the agenda packet that, just for an FYI, this is coming out of the arts and entertainment part of the budget through the casino funds. I did receive late a more itemized cost breakdown. So I can, from Gretchen Gilmore, so that can be provided for anyone asking for further breakdown of cost. So, but I did not receive that until a few minutes before council. But you know, I have had conversations, further conversations, and I think in a nutshell, after further evaluation, the cost to rent equipment, move equipment for venues and entertainment at Davis Park were seen as really cutting into the bottom line. I think for the to have events at Davis Park to the extent we would like to have, yes, it will be. I think this allocation will make that much more possible. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman Bell.
Thank you. Mr. Crignoni, did we know that we'd be anticipating these costs about a year ago when we took a vote on the project?
We knew that there was some additional furniture and fixtures, equipment that would need to be acquired.
Do you guys have an estimated breakdown of the cost that we may see as we open up Davis Park?
So I'm not certain I understand that question.
Do you guys have any estimated costs or a breakdown of the estimated costs that we'll see come before us in the next few months?
Are you talking about operational costs or additional?
No, additional fixtures.
I believe this will get us significantly there. I mean, there's always additional items that you could purchase to advance forward, but in our discussions with Gretchen, that this is going to go a long ways. So I don't want to say that there's nothing that might come up, but, you know.
Thank you.
Let's hope and pray it's nothing. All right, seeing no further questions, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item 13 is an allocation of funding amount of $353,502.76 for the Community Healing Center to provide trauma-informed services to youth impacted by violence in Rockford. The funding would support operations from October 1, 2026 through September 30, 2027. The funding source is reallocated ARPA dollars from Excel Center and corridor signage. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any questions or comments for staff? Alderman Granite.
Good evening. So is the school district, did the school district pay for any of this program last year?
No.
So who was the main funding source for this last year?
The Department of Justice.
And that grant was not given to us?
So we don't know yet. The grant, we received this grant initially in the fall of 2022 for 3 years. Because we got a slow start and a turnover of our original project manager, we did not spend it down. So we were able to get an extension through September of this year. In the interim, last October, the Department of Justice did drop the renewal grant. We applied for it, and we have yet to receive an indication if we have won it or not. In terms of timing, just to give you an understanding, we applied for another grant in June of 2025 and found out last week we were not awarded it. So there is a significant lag in turnaround. It's unprecedented.
And is there another opportunity for another grant for next, for this year or next year going forward?
Well, we're hoping so. But as the Department of Justice is realigning and really taking 3 separate departments and merging them into one, it is a process in development, and we're all really finding out in real time what the plan is.
I know as somebody who has worked with students and talked with teachers that have been involved in this program, it has benefited our students. And as somebody who knows that our kids come to school every day with trauma that we don't always get to see or hear, and it is something that having an adult in the schools that can understand that and pull them aside if they need to, it is something that I know educators value in the buildings, and I know that it then takes and goes forward into the community. So thank you.
All right, any other questions? Alderman Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, I don't know anybody in this council that really does not appreciate the work Jennifer has done. And yet, I'm wondering right now that we're the only ones that seem as a body that cares. No money coming in from the county. No money coming in from anyone else. No money coming in from the school district. It's back to the Rockford again. And it makes it very tough because people around this horseshoe believes in what's going on here. But I guess I like to look at the real part of it, is that it looks like this is gonna be added to our budget going forward, because we have no guarantee that these grants will come in the future. I think they send a signal by saying, not this year. That's kind of like it's saying to me, you got a year to figure it out, because they're not coming back again. So I guess when I look at the vote tonight, I'm looking at adding more staff to the city of Rockford and to our little bottom line going forward, if we want to keep this program going, or if we want to fund it the way we're doing it, or if we not want to go out and make other people put their money on the table to help with these services. And it's just not, like Rockford's got deep pockets all the time. Other people that are involved in the services that we offer at no cost to them ought to put their money up. Some money, something, not nothing. And that's not against you, Jennifer. I love you. You're the tops, in my opinion. But the fact is, they're back to Rockford again and our checkbook. And it's time we get a little tough. I mean, tough up. I don't think that's wrong. Thank you, sir, for letting me speak.
Thank you. Alderman Meeks.
Thank you so much. I just have a quick question. Do you all have the data that describes the demographics of the youth that you're servicing?
Yes, we do, and I could provide it to you.
Okay, just off the top of your head, can you give me an idea of what that looks like?
We predominantly serve low-income families, predominantly in the west and south side of Rockford. Majority of them are families of color, predominantly Black families. We do have some families that speak Spanish and only Spanish, so we do provide translation services for those families. I could give you a further breakdown in an email.
No, I appreciate that. So I guess my question is, because I heard the conversation about the youth working with an adult, and we've seen in other situations where when you are paired with someone that looks like you are probably more, not really probably because the data really directs that you are more prone to do better. Are you all looking at that when you are making these placements of adults to you in the schools?
Yes, and I can let Deanna further elaborate if needed, but we work very directly with Comprehensive Community Solutions in their Alpha program around placing youth with mentors. That is not something the CCS team, the Community Healing Center team works in an ecosystem very, very closely with Comprehensive Community Solutions, city, and by any means necessary. And so there is a triaging of our youth. There is no one size fits all, and then each youth is assigned to the person that's most appropriate to them. I don't know if you add that.
Yeah, and I'll just add that we understand that we cannot do this work alone. And so we really lean on to our partners and community agencies that we work with, and together think of ways that we can bring more adults, trusted adults, that better reflect the youth that we serve.
Now, are these dollars going towards a salary?
Yes,
Okay,
the budget that's been asked for, I believe it was broken down in your packet. If not, we can get that to you, but that would cover the 3 positions that are currently funded under the grant.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
It would cover the 3 positions currently funded under the grant, and then, yes, some indirect costs that, and contracting. So we contract under this grant, Alderman, with city and by any terms necessary to provide the leadership and therapeutic interventions that our kids need, that are identified through screening and other tools that our healing center team does. So there's some contract services in it as well.
We also contract Rockford Bonneville for a movement-based program that teaches social emotional learning.
And so those individuals that you partner with, those aren't the staff members that you're speaking?
Correct, right.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Alderman Toomberg.
Thank you, Chairman. Jennifer, I appreciate the conversation we had the other day on this. By the way, there is a breakdown of costs in the agenda packet. we had spoken, and many of you on council floor have heard me beat the drum on, I think a lot of the root of societal problems are fatherless households. So I would ask if you would elaborate on any programs within this that there will be male mentors available and present in this program.
Yeah, that is one of our main goals, to bring more trusted adults that are males into our program. That is one of the things that keeps reoccurring. Families keep asking, residents keep asking, and we are always in search of male mentors. And that is one of the main reasons why we partner with Comprehensive Community Solutions, because they have an amazing team that is already providing mentorship services in the community, and together we're partnering and creating programs together and events.
Okay. I have statistics that actually show that there is a large increase in youth crime and how it's tied to fatherless households. So statistics have proven that. And I myself have worked with kids throughout the years and minority youth, and it is very powerful, a male mentorship. Number two is along the lines of Alderman Beach, you know, we're working with these youth in the schools, and the schools are benefiting on this as well. I just, you know, looking through this, I still just, yes, I have an issue, and Alderman Beach touched on many of those, that we are funding this through the city of Rockford when we have not only RPS benefiting, and they're contributing, I believe, $0 to this. We also had the voters of our county vote on a mental health tax. I did see that there was some money coming from the mental health tax into this, and I appreciate that. But for the amount of money that taxpayers are putting into the mental health tax, the amount of money going towards this is minuscule at best. So I would like to see any effort, and whether there has been already, I would appreciate hearing any feedback on that.
Yes, back in, I want to say 2021, right before we applied for this grant. And just to, I don't want to get ahead of myself with the CCS item that's on EMD, but when we first branched off into this, if you remember when now retired Deputy Chief Kurt was in hand, and now retired Acting Chief Randy Burke developed data that indicated so many of our kids, before they were arrested for violent crime, had documented previous exposure to trauma. And the police department asked us to please expand our office to include community violence and kids. And so we went very specifically to Comprehensive Community Solutions to do listening sessions with our kids and ask them, what would you need? If the adults were doing better and had it together, what are the things that need gap filling so that you would find a different pathway in your life instead of the pathway that we are finding so many of us on, dropping out of school and engaging in the criminal justice system. And at that time, once we had that vision from our youth, we went to Rockford Public Schools and submitted an exceptionally robust application that asked them to pick 10 schools where teams of 3 people in each of the 10 schools they chose, not us, would be there to be really teams of trauma mitigation busters, that if a child was escalating and was starting to display behaviors that indicated they were having a hard time, the teachers could activate this team, and it would be a mentor per counsel's really clear recommendations to me, a trauma therapist and somebody with a behavioral health intervention license. And RPS told us that they had that covered and denied our application. And so when they told us no, we went to the Department of Justice and applied for this grant. I will note that we were successful in lobbying Winnebago County Board just last month in receiving funding for the new Family Peace Center. And so for the first time, we are receiving just over $600,000 in a one-time cost from them, and they are considering ongoing funding for operations for the Carrie Lynch Center in that building. So we are making headway with the Winnebago County Board. I have every intention, and mark it down, and you heard it here first, of meeting with the superintendent just the second I can, and starting to talk with him about what we can do as a school district to start investing in our kids like this, because you're right, this is directly benefiting our schools, and it's benefiting us as a community as part of our violent crime reduction strategy, and that bifurcated road we've been taking now since this office opened, of prevention, intervention, and criminal prosecutions. And so my efforts with advocating at RPS, I think if you asked anybody there, they would describe them as relentless, and that's not going to change. And so we are in this really unfortunate, poor-timed position with the restructuring of DOJ grants, where we just landed in this window. This is a program this grant is a very elite grant. Only 7 are given in the country, where usually with rounds of funding, there's 25 to 30 given. And so I do have faith that this grant will be renewed. Their timing is just not lining up with what our kids need right now.
Well, I'd just like to add that I think leveraging our agreements, partnerships with RPS going forth, we can keep these, or this item specifically, in mind going forth.
That would be very helpful.
As we do that. Thank you.
Alderman Prunty.
Thank you. I think I want to deal with the third word on this comment about leveraging. There was something else in this packet that dealt with the school district and officers and funding. So I guess I would like to see, okay, we want this, we need this. Use some of those that language, so that we can help them see how much is coming from this section, this portion. Then can you clarify for me, you just received an answer from the grant people? What did they say? Why didn't we get there?
We received a no on a separate grant.
Okay.
There were no explanation given. You have to, once you get from the Department of Justice the notice of the no, you have to request that they will give us the comments, and then on their own time, we will get those from them. That could take 2 weeks, it could take 2 months. So the second we got notice, we sent an email asking for comments, and we're awaiting those, and I'm happy to share those as soon as we get those.
Okay, all right, and then another question. I want to thank you for reminding us that the breakdown is in here, and I will look at that much more closely, because I'm looking, I heard you say that there, as it relates to what the money is being used for, so thank you very much for bringing that to my attention and reminding me. But you said that there were 3 staff.
That's correct.
And 300, how much is that? 353,000 is one for staff.
Around 200,000. Yes.
This is the trauma-informed services. Is any of this going, and you're asking for mental health dollars, are there any mental health professionals on board?
Yes, City Foundation has been providing the mental health support for our.
Okay, and what portion of this goes, what portion of, yeah?
Well,
what do they provide, maybe
there's a past contract we've had with them, and they actually have a proposal in front of you on P&D at the next meeting, but in the past, we've contracted.
In the past, we have contracted to lead youth support groups at the Irving Strong House, youth in that neighborhood, and other youth that attend Auburn Kennedy Middle School. And the groups consisted of having clinical oversights on different topics that the youth brought forth. A lot of it was generational trauma, exposure to violence at home, and they led them through activities and different discussions that touched on those topics.
Is it enough?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, we're asking for this amount. There are other things in there. Do we need more?
Our children all need one-on-one therapy. And so, no, this won't cover that. But we also have found that our kids are often resistant to one-on-one therapy. And so these circles that we're really building and these alternatives to traditional therapy have proven really impactful. And so what this will do, should P&D see fit to fund city, this will free up some additional contracted funds to work with additional mental health supports. And so I think we are still building towards enough for what our kids need.
And then you said you had mentors, or you were seeking mentors. How many mentors do you have?
That's a great question. At the top of my head, I would say 10 to 15.
Is that enough?
No, the need for mentorship is always much greater than our capacity. We do make referrals also to mental health organizations like Youth Services Network, Brightpoint, Family Services. We make referrals all the time to mental health services only if the youth want those supports. There's a lot of stigma also with counseling and therapy. So with our mentorship program, we try to break through that stigma, explain to them what therapy is, and then make the referral when they're ready.
Are the mentors paid?
Our contractors are paid, yes, and we serve as mentors as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, seeing no further questions, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Moving on to item 14 is an approval of the reallocation of $250,000 previously approved cannabis recreation tax funds and allocation of an additional $100,000 in 2026 cannabis recreation tax funds for poverty reduction and adult and childhood education through the Health and Human Services Department. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Is it possible to ask a question on an item we've already voted on?
A question?
Yeah, on funding.
If it pertains to a specific
Number 2,
item.
Under Resolution 4, it says that the funding of property funds and casino, I was a little concerned I didn't know where we're using casino funds for citywide street repairs.
On item number,
That's number 2 under
on
resolution.
resolutions. And your question is,
I voted for it, but as reading a little closer, I saw that the source of funds was property funds and casino funds.
sure, Ms. Haggerty?
Yes, so this contract covers repaving parking lots at fire stations at District 3, I believe, police station, and work on the parking lot at city yards. So we have allocated through the council's approved casino plan, funding annually for capital improvements for police and fire facilities. Those funds are being used for this purpose.
Is that part of the $7 million?
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. All right, on the motion to adjourn, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.
What is the expectation that we have it taken care of in time? Because if I get shamed for asking a question, and I'm gonna turn into Jesus and nobody knows.
Except for the big one that everyone wants.
Crazy. Crazy.
I don't think
It's off of it. Do we know what's next? Candy? Oh.
They won't let me through. They're trying to shut me out. That's kind of, maybe that could be good.
So that's why.
I dare to be different.
Oh, because of. You are welcome.
I'd like to call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting for Monday, June 8th, 2026. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Here.
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 Alderwoman Meeks.
I'm here.
Thank you. Our first item is an approval for the proposed funding agreement with Comprehensive Community Solutions, CCS, to expand prevention and intervention programming in collaboration with the City of Rockford's Community Healing Center in the amount of $400,000. The funding source is cannabis funds. Do I have a motion to approve? I'll second. Are there any questions or comments?
Okay, I have a question. Can you second, being that you were more than likely?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am abstaining. I apologize. Force of habit.
Right.
Are you reading this?
No, that was my question.
Oh, okay. All right, we have a first, no second. All right, we'll move it.
Hold on, Alder Chairman. Who made the motion?
Alderman Grannis.
Yeah, so we're looking for a second on this. Here. Alderman Durkee had a question in regards to where we're at, so I
On
apologize.
item number 1,
Correct.
we had a motion and a second already there.
I accidentally second. I cannot second. I'll be abstaining.
So we are looking for a second.
All right. Item does not pass. We'll move on to item 2. Item 2 is an approval for the proposed funding agreement with Goodwill in partnership with IBEW Local 364 for Electrical Workers Trades Program to better prepare individuals for IBEW application process in the amount of $85,172. The funding source is casino funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second that. Do we have any questions or comments?
Can I get?
Alderman Durkee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick comment. This is now going to comments that have been previously made about redundancy and funding. The backdrop of all this is we are facing a pretty big budget deficit. As it relates to this particular item, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, although they're trying to do a yeoman's job, trying to get individuals back up to some math and reading proficiency, they actually already have a program at Rock Valley College where these folks are channeled in, and the remediation program to get people, high school graduates, up to where they should be in math and reading and writing is far more robust than this program. And interestingly, it's redundant and it's not as good as the program that already exists at Rock Valley. So I couldn't support this because we already have something in place that's far more robust unless somebody can correct me on that.
I'll be happy to respond, Chairman. Alderman, we work directly with Goodwill and IBEW Local 364 to come up with this program. They identify what they see as weaknesses in individuals being prepared to take their test. They work directly with Goodwill to build the curriculum. They will actually also be investing in this program by providing a trainer to help bring individuals along. Historically, when we worked with the unions and discussed where their applicants are coming from, we have a lot of applicants that are coming from outside the city of Rockford. And we felt that this program was important in identifying Rockfordians that are often overlooked with the focus of individuals of color. We know that they're underrepresented in many of the trades, and we believe that Goodwill has a track record of identifying those individuals, working alongside other partners such as IBEW to get these individuals prepared to take the IBEW test and have better outcomes than what we've seen. So that's why we discussed this proposal. Whether, RBC existing program is more robust than this program, I can't state whether it is or it isn't, but we do recognize that the outcomes that we're seeing in regards to individuals of color taking a test and meeting the requirements are being underrepresented when we compare that to the population of the city. So we think it's a pretty good program. We consider it a pilot program. We'd like to thank Goodwill and IBEW directly for their efforts on helping move this forward. It's something that we've talked on and off again for a number of years and just haven't been allowed the opportunity, and we're hoping that this could be that opportunity.
Alderman Thunberg.
Thanks, Chairwoman, for allowing me to speak on your committee. When it comes to the Excel funds being used for this, is that, I didn't catch it, in fact, I'm not sure, but I thought I didn't see it. Is that coming from the funds that were allocated for their build-out originally that was set aside for Northtown?
So this is not Excel funds. This is casino funds that are being proposed to support the program.
Okay, I thought maybe I read casino and Excel, some funding that had maybe been set aside.
One of the previous committees.
Thank you for that. I thought I did see that there's a 70% requirement for minorities in this program. And I don't know if I should use the word requirement. I can't recall exactly how it was termed, but my question is, what happens if that percentage is not acquired? Is there any?
I don't believe that being a requirement, other than an estimate of how they're going to focus the marketing. So it does say 70% enrollment students should be minorities and or women, but it's not a requirement.
Okay. All right, thank you. I know, and the reason I just say that is that I know that the trades have in the past at times reached out to minorities and tried to increase their enrollment within the trades, and at times have been unsuccessful in doing that. So I just wanted to make sure that if this wasn't attained, there wouldn't be any penalties to the program of any sort. So thank you.
Alderwoman Prunty.
Thank you. Is there a plan to do something different to Alderman Thunberg, or the Third Ward Alderman's point about reaching out? Is there a plan to do something different so that you can achieve those outcomes?
So I'm not aware of a program similar to this that has been proposed in the past. When we look at the track record of Goodwill engaging individuals of color for their programs, they are successful at accomplishing that. So we do have confidence that they'll be able to succeed, but we'd also ask for the alderman's support in helping us identify potential candidates that we could funnel to Goodwill to take advantage of this program. So we would, should this be approved, we would certainly encourage all of you to provide, individuals that may be appropriate for this program.
And I've only attended a couple of things. So as it relates to the RPC program, if I remember correctly, and I don't know that you all will be able to say that, they were indicated that they could serve about 12 students per year. How many students do you anticipate here?
Let me confirm that number with you. 30 students through the program.
Okay. And then, last question. You said that they identified places where the candidates coming from other programs are missing. And so my question to the First Ward Alderman's point about there being better programs out there, I don't know that to be the case, but they do know what makes a candidate not viable for them. Is there anything in the plan to share those concerns with those other programs so that they too can, because 12 is a nice, pretty number, but it's not enough if RVC, if that is the number that they use. 12 and 30, now we're looking at 32, but there are other programs out there. Is there a plan to share the good news and best practices with some of the other outlets so that we can see even more viable candidates?
More than certainly willing to share the process and the outcome as we go through the process. And the more programs or individuals that we can prepare to take the test, the better. The uniqueness in this particular one is IBEW is directly engaged in the process.
Thank you.
Okay, did I see, it was a hand over, Alderwoman Meeks?
Just a question. So is the idea that if we move into other trades, that we would then be funding at this level for each of the individual trades? Or there's really not a board to that? I think that's the question. The $85,000 that we're funding, this is strictly for the electrical workers. If we wanted to expand that, scale that to other trades, would this look like us spending something like $85,000 every time we do it? Or is this program really about the trades collectively?
So it's an excellent question. This is a direct partnership with IBEW. However, it is known as one of the hardest tests. So understanding that the candidates that go through this test would also be prepared to take the other trade tests, understanding that these are core skills that are being taught in regards to math and reading to get them to a level to be successful in the test.
And so what is the goal that we're setting for ourselves? Did I catch that? How many individuals do we plan on going through this program?
30.
Are you
Look,
done? I'm sorry, are you done with your questions? Alderman Meeks? Alderman Bell?
Thank you for allowing me to speak on your committee, Chairwoman. I'd love to talk about this as, you know, council or this committee moves it forward or not and figure out where we're at with it. But just food for thought, I'm going to put this out here. There are about 30 individuals that have been trained through the CJA hub in our community, specifically with Zion West. And there are about 30 individuals who are in need, I think, of additional training and support so that they can qualify or be ready for this robust test. And I think maybe we may be missing another partner at the table and really ensuring that we get the return on the investment that we are desiring to see. And so I just, you know, maybe add another partner at the table to see how we could pipeline the individuals who were supported through the CJA Hub, which is a state funded program that has been successful, but we've seen barriers with community partners or businesses pipelining those individuals who are graduated with a national certification into a sustainable job. And so I would just love to see, you know, one more partner or the hub and their partners there at the table to see if that is something they'd like to do. Just wanted to put that out there and would love to set those meetings up. But just want to share that to this committee.
And as we go forward, we'd be happy to coordinate and have that meeting as well.
Alderwoman Punty?
If you're going to do that, I would also say that there's the Awaken Foundation.
They're a part of it. Sorry.
They're part of the, oh, you said the hub. Okay, that's what you, okay. Thank you.
Alderwoman Meeks?
Thank you. I remember when I originally heard about this, there was a conversation about a guarantee of an interview. Is that on the table, that these individuals will be guaranteed an interview with IBEW?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, but there's probably no guarantee of placement.
Correct.
All right, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Salgado?
Yeah, thank you, Chairwoman, for allowing me to speak. So I do have a question. It's a valid question in regards to, you know, what happens. These folks are going to get trained on their mathematics skills and should be able to apply for the application and be successful to be a candidate for through that program. The question is, if they don't get a position, what happens? I saw some of the things about an expo, trying to get them, you know, aligned with particular different programs. So would like to see if there's any other additional information with those, because it is very competitive. And so in hearing that there are, like Rock Valley potentially out there as well, and there's certain applications that exist out there, does it give them any, not, I would say favoritism, but an upper hand through this program, through goodwill to essentially open the door for them? And so that's my kind of, not concern, but I'd like to see what that retention would be if they would offer them a position or into their programs that they exist out there. So, but I did read the information that, you know, obviously they wouldn't be able to solidify a position. You know, there's expos, there's this, that they would put them into a line to get positions like that. So I don't know if you could elaborate a little bit on that.
You know, most certainly, should they not get into the IBEW, again, they could, you know, apply for the other trades. And, you know, understanding that the individuals will be going through this training program, that's the start of creating a network. And I would agree with your statement, you know, nothing's guaranteed, but understanding that the instructors of IBEW will be directly vested with these individuals, I would think that would be helpful in the process. But you know, at the end of the day, they're going to have to score.
Yep.
Like everyone else taking the test, but the intention of the entire program is to get them successful.
Yeah, and just if I may, I think this is great. I think what Goodwill does with, you know, with their GED program and everything, I think it's a success. I think the more educated our individuals, I think it would translate to other positions, not just this particular direction or union in this particular, but it will ultimately enhance, obviously, their ability to succeed elsewhere. So I do think it's a good program from that perspective, but that's just my only question that I come up with when I read the program from that perspective. Thank you.
No problem. Mayor McNamara, you raised your hand?
Yeah, just wanted to add, RBC does have, I'm assuming I have not went through it, but I'm assuming a wonderful program. I think theirs is a highway construction program. I would also say something that stands out to me about this is RBC, rightfully so, I don't want it to be negative, but they serve a 6-county area. This will just serve our so that we can prioritize our Rockford kids getting into the trades. And they will be, as they go through this, they will be funneled through to the other trades. If IBW is booked and they don't have a time slot for them, or maybe they fell short of the electrical test, but they could pass one of the other tests, Goodwill will be helping them navigate through that process to work to get them into the other trades. And we have a commitment from IBW to also share those students, really prioritize those students, not just within IBW, but within the rest of the building trades.
Were there any other questions or comments? Alderman Durkee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to reiterate, the RBC program, I don't know where the number 12 comes from. However, the RBC program is affiliated with the other trades. They have a highway program, I think they have HIVAC, plumbing, and carpenters, and the unions are all involved in that program. I've seen the test scores that some of the folks come out of school with here. This program is an 8-week program. The electrician test is robust, and you're going to go from possibly 0 to robust in 8 weeks. And I'm a little cynical about that, and sometimes we set people up to fail. And so we convince them that you put in your 8 weeks and boom, there you go. But then if they don't pass, then there becomes the what if. Reason why I think the RBC program is more robust, more comprehensive. It's reading, writing, mathematics, and it's far more longitudinal. It's not a quick fix. And I don't know that students would benefit from a quick fix. And like I said, the program does appear to be somewhat redundant. And if they do fail or do not connect in one trade, the RBC program will help them channel into others, or they may find something else they would do and stay in RBC for another program. Not saying this is a bad program. I just think that the RBC, as I'm looking from the cheap seats, because I don't know the intimacy between this program and that program, but looking at a 40,000-foot view, it seems a little redundant to me. It seems a little bit shallower. To be an electrician is a challenge. I mean, these guys are smart guys, and like I said, they already have a program over at RBC. So I don't know what the benefit is, and I don't know how to get a student to be that proficient in mathematics in 8 weeks. So that's why I would oppose this. Hopefully that clarifies me.
Alderman Bell.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Chairwoman, for allowing me to speak on the committee. I think, from the conversations that we've had on this item today, certainly we should look at partnering with Zion West. I know that Zion West is in the CJA hub with Goodwill and Awaken and the others, but we have well-trained individuals that have gone through, I believe it's a 12 to 14 week program, and they've taken the math courses, they've gotten certified, they've taken the hard tests, and so should they want to, go through with getting into the union with IBEW to do solar installation and such. I think that that would be a good opportunity for them to directly pipeline in, and then we're not covering that initial cost because the state is already giving that money, and we have individuals who need the expanded support already.
Thank you. Were there any other questions or comments? Alderwoman Prunty?
I've heard this a couple of times. I've heard the word used, student, kids, youth. Can you give me age range for this program?
17 to 25.
Were there any other questions or comments? I thought I saw another hand. All right. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Durkee.
No.
Neal.
Aye.
Grant.
Aye.
Meeks.
No.
2 ayes, 2 noes.
Item 3 is an approval for the proposed funding agreement with Angelic Organics Learning Center Incorporated and an Illinois not-for-profit corporation doing business as Farmers Rising in partnership with City Center Market for the establishment of a mobile grocery store in the amount of $822,000. The funding source is 2025 and 2026 casino funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? We'll move on to item 4. Item 4 is an approval for the proposed funding agreement with City Foundation for the Early Bird Social Work Development Program at Auburn High School in the amount of $25,000. The funding source is cannabis funds. Is there a motion to approve?
So, aye.
I'll go ahead and second that. Are there any questions or comments? Alderman Durkee?
I'm like a Debbie Downer tonight, I guess. I'd like to know, we just passed a program earlier tonight, but also this relates to the same comments that we made. This is at Auburn High School. And I look at my property tax bill, and I see a big chunk of, the vast majority of our taxes go to District 205. So is there a reason why we were going beyond things we just passed and now doing this at Auburn and just Auburn? Why we're funding 205?
Did you want to speak on that?
So, Chairwoman, I'm happy to address this. We're not funding 205. This is City Foundation for Early Bird Social Work Development Program. It was a previous recipient of REGRO $10,000 funding. Our team has worked directly with Ashton in the past, and we've seen great success with the work that her and her team has conducted. As we're looking at the programs under consideration, we spoke with Alderwoman Meeks, who had brought this forward, and we felt that it was a program worth supporting. And it's $25,000 with a proposed funding source of cannabis dollars, which we do believe aligns with the policy approved by City Council for a one-year funding agreement.
Alderman Durkee.
How did we define success?
Certainly willing to have Ashton speak directly. She is in the audience, but based on feedback from the students that have participated in the overall work.
Are there any other questions or comments? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Durkee.
No.
Neal.
Aye.
Grant. Aye. Meeks.
Aye.
3 ayes.
Item 5 is an approval of the proposed funding agreement with Zion West for a youth training and mowing program to better prepare individuals for future opportunities in the amount of $25,000. The funding source is cannabis funds. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Alderwoman Meeks.
I just want to kind of clarify, the amount of money that they're funding totaled more than the actual request. I think it came to about $27,000, not including the mentors. Yeah, I would just kind of like to get clarification of where the additional funding is coming from.
So it was, the overall budget for the program, I believe, was close to $45,000. $25,000 coming from the city of Rockford, Zion West Enterprises, we secured the additional $20,000. How they're securing that, I don't know.
Is there a way I can shift to Alderman Bell, who says he can speak to it?
Certainly acceptable.
Chairman, please, may I ask the Alderman a question?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No, I can't ask the question. Okay. Never mind, I can't ask the question.
Alderman Durkee.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll probably support this. I don't want to get off of Mr. Cagnoni's Christmas card. They're off. I look forward to that every year. I would just suggest these basic, these mowing programs, it seems scattered. Is there a way that we could utilize these folks to cut city property, since we're using city taxpayer dollars? And, because I don't know if we're doing private property, but if we're using taxpayer dollars, is there a way that we can have these young folks cut city lots?
So, Chairman, I can give a little bit of background. You know, Zion West, we've had a past relationship with them, and it was approximately, I'm going to estimate about 10 years ago, when the city of Rockford was responsible of mowing Winnebago County trustee lots by default. So we had a funding agreement with Zion West Enterprises where they would mow trustee properties. We did that in partnership with Rockford Corridor Improvement, which was a not-for-profit working in the west side. We worked directly with John Holmstrom, which raised funds for capital improvements, startup costs to Zion West, and then we paid a small fee for Zion West Enterprises to mow lots. Over time, we were successful in getting the Winnebago County trustee program reformed, and we are no longer mowing those lots by default. Historically, they have mowed trustee lots, and they currently mow land bank properties that are under the control of R1, and they do have some commercial lots that they mow. When we did have a program where we paid them to mow lots, it was at a higher expense than what's proposed here, because there was significantly more cost. Understanding that the lots that they've already mowed, some of them being funded by taxpayer dollars, and the contribution that we're providing, we believe it, sustains the program. I would have no objections to going back and working with Zion West for additional opportunities to mow. They have been contractors for some of our other properties in the past as well, and has bid on them, and they are currently not under contract with us on mowing any city properties, but certainly something that we could explore. They are a not-for-profit. They have been successful in raising funds on their own, whether that's through grant opportunities or private fundraising. And I would presume that to Alderwoman Meek's question, where the other dollars will come from.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Alderman Salgado?
Yeah, this is not really a question for this particular item, but I noticed the funding source, the cannabis funds, come up quite a few here. So I was wondering if there is a way to get a running total on that, and based on what's available, what's not available, and then an ending balance of that perspective. So I just noticed there was quite a few items from that perspective, and just would like to kind of get if Ms. Haggerty or
I can give it to you right now. $850,000 was the estimated budget, and cannabis funds. $400,000 is under consideration with the CCS funding agreement that's on the agenda. $100,000 for Health and Human Services, which was previously approved, and Finance and Personnel, $25,000 for early birds, and $25,000 for this particular program. If all those programs are approved, that would leave approximately $300,000 available in cannabis funds in 2026.
Okay, thank you.
Any other, I'm sorry, Alderman Thunberg.
Thanks, Chairwoman. In it says, improving the appearance and cleanliness of neighborhoods throughout the 13th Ward and surrounding West Side communities. I know there are multiple wards on the west side. Who determines how this is going to be, the services provided are going to be allocated amongst the areas within the west side in particular? Because this would lead me to believe that an emphasis is going to be more in the 13th Ward, while ignoring the rest of the west side communities. Not completely ignore, but favoring the 13th Ward.
So
I'd just like clarification on that.
fair question. They won't be ignoring the other wards, but they will go where the opportunities exist, where they have existing contracts for mowing. And when they originally were formatted with Rockford Corridor Improvement, their focus wasn't necessarily on the 13th Ward, but Ellis Heights neighborhood, which is predominantly the 13th Ward. So I believe that language is just a carryover from the origination when they had the partnership with Rockford Corridor Improvement. And quite frankly, we've done a ton of work in the Ellis Heights neighborhood, understanding that is an area where we had the highest foreclosure rates, the highest number of vacant lots, and some of the highest needs. So that's where that came from. But it's not exclusively for the 13th Ward.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Griffin. Aye. Meeks.
Aye.
Great. Item 6 is an approval for the proposed development agreement with Court Construction, 1322 East State Street, LLC, for the rehabilitation of 1322 East State Street in the amount not to exceed $100,000. The funding source is the Jackson School TIF District. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? Alderwoman Meeks.
So my first question is, who assigns the guidelines for the point system for funds?
The actual scoring was computed by city staff member.
By city staff member. And when was that done? Do you recall?
Last week.
Does this change? Is this consistent amongst all TIFs, or does this point system change at all?
That point system is part of the city's TIF policy, so the actual scoring of that is, does not change.
Okay.
Or the utilization of the scoring does not change.
So the reason why I bring that up is just as I'm looking at the point system, I'm noticing things like residential receiving 50 points, whereas professional and office space receiving 75, industrial and manufacturing receiving 100 points, and commercial receiving 75, which I can actually understand. As we prioritize what we deem important, how do we go about making it so some of these items that are on the lower scale, the 50s, the 30 for advanced education and training, I feel like that's also something that we need in this community, are seen at a higher point system versus what we're seeing?
So I might not be able to answer that completely, but my assumption is that we would have to create a new scoring system to utilize that. If you wanted to change the scoring for each of those different categories, that would be a new policy that would need to be.
So can I add to that, Chairwoman? Alderwoman, we'd be happy to send out the TIF policy and the scoring system that was approved by City Council. I want to say it was approved by City Council back in 2015, 2016. Send it to the entire council. Happy to receive feedback from the aldermen on where they think priorities should be changed and work on potential draft amendments to bring forward to P&D for consideration.
I appreciate that very much. Also, I just want to understand, I think this totaled 225 points, is that correct?
Correct.
So I see the scale shows mid-priority 124 to 224, and then high priority over 225. So I guess when I see over 225, I assume it's over 225. So I would put this in a mid-priority because there's really not a section if you fall right on 225. Am I wrong about that, or what would you say?
So I can see what you're indicating, but I think because of the way the scoring is, we're not able to score at 226. So there's not an individual way to score since it's blocked out in tens and fives versus individuals. But I can understand what you mean by landing right at 225. It's not over that number.
Yeah. That's interesting. Way it goes. Okay, yeah, I guess just from my perspective of looking at this, I would consider this more of a mid-priority than a high priority when we look at what a TIF district can actually do. And so this is another situation where we are basically trying to retain this business, correct? This is similar to the retention of, I feel like we've done this before with, would it be N-Track that we funded something to retain the business here in the area? Maybe I'm getting this wrong.
So there's a couple, and I can't speak directly to the one that you might be thinking of, but in regards to short construction, obviously they're a long-standing construction company in our area. They handle a lot of large-scale projects, work with clients like PCI, Rockford Toolcraft. And in this instance, the business as well as the associated properties were sold to a new employee, and our support of that is to keep them here in the community. Also, if you think of East State Street, that is the gateway to not only our downtown, but also an area with the Swedish American Hospital right there, or UW Health right there located in the same area. So sustaining a business there that is also, has higher level employees, provides a lot level of support for that area, in addition to supporting and keeping them in our community.
And last question, can you tell me how we have utilized this TIF in the past?
So two of the projects in the Jackson Street TIF district that there was support up to around $200,000 for a dialysis center, and I also believe the Swedish American Foundation received funding through that. I would note that Jackson Street TIF district is quite small, and as well as it is going to be terminated very soon, having lived its full 23 years.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Derby?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Me?
No.
Rhea?
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? This meeting, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned.
Call to order the Codes and Regulation Committee meeting on Monday, June 8th, 2026. Call the committee meeting to order. Clerk, could you please call the roll? Here.
Here. Here. Dale?
Present.
Thank you. 6 committee reports before us. Item number 1, plat number 5 of Wood Hill subdivision for the property located at 5101 and 5115 Woody Ranch Lane. Is there a motion on the floor?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Clerk, could you please call the roll? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 2 at 714 Broadway, the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a tobacco store in a C4 urban mixed-use district at 714 Broadway with Damian Lyman doing business as Dala Dame Smoke Shop. Is there a motion on the floor? Seeing no motion, the item will fail. Moving on to item number 3. At 2614 and 2600 Kilburn Avenue, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the sale of packaged liquor in conjunction with a grocery store in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 2614 and 2600 Kilburn Avenue with Samabi Patel and Shiv Dristi doing business as Jasmine Pantry. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second? I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Discussion.
Oh, sorry. Any discussion? Alderman Bell?
Yeah, just want to say, I do not believe that we need to be selling liquor at this establishment. I will be voting no at council. With respect to the Alderwoman and advocating for this to move forward, I made a motion today, but I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Clerk, could you please call the roll on item number 3? Aye.
No.
No.
Motion fails. Item number 4, the Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a special use permit for a planned unit development for an RV and fifth wheel only community in an R1 single-family residential zoning district at 2530, 2710, and 2720 South Main Street. Midwest Yard Holdings is the applicant. Is there a motion on the floor? There's a motion. Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Any discussion on item number 4 on South Main Street? Alderwoman Tarina?
Thank you, Chairman. Whew. This is a tough item. A couple things I just kind of want to walk through the process with this one. First, I did attend the initial zoning board meeting for this item. And that's when I first learned about the grievances from the residents. I was very concerned with that. Then it did move, well, it actually hasn't moved out to me, but some of the other things that I did was I felt it very important to listen to the concerns of the residents. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'll blame it over most times, but again, concerned to hear about from the residents. I just thought it was important, so we met on a Saturday. We had Alderwoman Granite was there, Alderwoman Meeks, Alderwoman Prunty. Thank you all for showing up for the residents so they could be heard. Sat down with the attorney of the new developer. I've read every single email. I've had conversations here. So I really try to do my due diligence just to make sure that ultimately the voice of the resident was heard, but we also were able to offer services to the residents. I felt like I want to see the city do a better job in situations like this. Especially like when it went through zoning, I think there was an opportunity there for us to get in front of that, knowing that we would be potentially displacing 120 people. Just to get in front of that, to say, we kind of see it's coming down the pipeline, so what can we do to get in front of it? So perhaps in the future, we can be more mindful about the work that we do is always to serve people first. So I have had extensive conversations with Attorney Rodriguez. We have talked today, and they have come up with a plan to help the residents the best that they can. I can certainly appreciate that the developer has tried to do the most that they can, right? They don't have to give a package, but they're offering one. They have gone up significantly in the amount that they originally offered. They're also willing to, I don't want to say this wrong, so I'm going to read my email just to make sure I got this, the verbiage correct. We're ultimately going to be wanting the residents to elect to participate in a program, a package within 30 days, and then they would have 60 days thereafter to move. So it almost gives them pretty close to 90 days additional time after this. But again, giving all the background to say that I am going to say yes to move this forward, because while I certainly feel for and have empathy for the residents and their concerns, I don't think that the developer coming forward is, a couple things aren't happening. I don't think that whoever the current seller is, they're not doing anything wrong by wanting to sell their property. I know that the residents were concerned that they weren't informed, that we should have given additional zoning warnings. According to our legal department, that is not legally we're not required to do that. So I think the city did all they could on that aspect of things. But I don't, again, what I feel like is what's being presented is probably the better option to move it to the RV park. So again, I will be voting to support to move this forward, just knowing that the residents are taken care of. Health and Human Services Department was present at the meeting. They had plenty of information, plenty of packets. So they know how to get in contact with services to help them in a transition should they have issues. I did get another letter from, it was a signed letter by maybe 5 or 6 different residents just supporting the project. So, I've just kind of heard from both sides of it. But I did try again to do my due diligence to make sure that, I'm going to say it for the 5th time, that the residents' voices were heard and that they will ultimately have support during this transition. And again, I just want to thank my colleagues for just showing up and being willing to help. And I really appreciate Alderwoman Granith, because I didn't know the first thing about camping culture and RV parks, and she does. And so it was nice to work with her to be able to get some of the questions answered, because I wouldn't even know how to ask some of these things without her expertise in that area, so I appreciate that. I think that's the remainder of my comments, unless you might have any more questions about something I might have forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Trina. Fun fact about Alderman Grana. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Alderman Trina, for providing that more of the social context there. I think it's difficult for others around the horseshoe here to understand like an SUP or a PUD and how it affects kind of the social context. So thank you for that. Any further discussion? Clerk, could you please call the roll on item number 4? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
No.
Thank you. Item number 5 is a proposed lift assist ordinance. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Alderman Beach.
I'm not on the committee, thank you.
I know, Thunberg's not either, but I like you more, so we'll go with you, Beach.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the meeting on your committee. If I'm reading right, there was a fee established, or at least a proposed fee, of $470 after the 6th time.
Correct.
So my concern is, if this is going to apply to the residents as well as businesses, should there be a different responsibility for a business, a for-profit business, when they call, like a high-rise, calling the fire department out?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I've seen calls go out. You have a fire truck with 4 firemen, you have paramedics with 2, that's 6, sometimes even an administrator. And they can be there 2 hours or something more than that for $470. So I'm just asking the question, should the fee connected with this be different for the residents as opposed to the business?
It's a good question. Chief Tayo, I'll swing it over to you.
I think,
Or Director Hammer.
So the statute that was enacted to allow us to adopt a lip assist fee only applies to assisted living facilities or nursing homes. So the fee would be assessed against an assisted living facility or a nursing home pursuant to the statute.
Well, let me see if I'm reading this wrong. Thought it says for, I had it right here, I lost it, I thought it said for, please bear with me. Well, I can't put my hand right now, but I thought it said all uses. The services, rescue services that all residents of the city of Rockford expect. Now, does that just mean assisted living?
Are you reading from the whereas clause?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just,
It may be that this lift assist fee assessment allows us to recover costs allocated for those lift assists at assisted living and nursing homes, so we can focus on providing services to the taxpayers.
okay, if someone came to your house, no charge.
Correct.
I understand, thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Thunberg.
Thanks, Chairman, newly appointed. Now, this is on assisted living facilities, so I believe I read there's 6 allowed, and then after that, the fee comes into play. You know, I would think that a place like Wesley Willows or Fairhaven, they're gonna burn through that 6 probably within a few days. So you know, and I understand the burden on our fire department on these lift assists. And if I'm not mistaken, it's more of a liability issue, why that these facilities will not lift somebody that fell and just literally needs to be lifted back into bed or in a chair. And so, yes, thank our legal system on that, attorney. So, no, but here's an issue. So I can understand the cost to the city on these calls is immense. But now we're going to implement this on our assisted living facilities, which could put a cost burden on them as well. We don't have any cost when we have calls to RHA facilities, Rockford Housing Authority, and they are called to do some of these same things there. Do we charge RHA after 6 calls? I think I already know the answer to that. So, I mean, it's almost going back to the conversation we had regarding the public schools pitching in a little bit on services that I think we as a city are offering to their benefit. County as well. I frequently see our fire department at RHA facilities, but yet I don't think we're billing them. Is that correct? For instances like this?
I would defer to the chief manager, yes.
No. We are not currently billing those facilities. There is a RHG property that I'm aware of that does have like maybe a certain floor that's dedicated, that has dedicated staff. And I think
when it triggers that assisted living or nursing home, there needs to be 24-hour staffing or qualified staffing to be able to care for those residents. And some of the RHA facilities do not require that. And so I think that's where that, separates us from what we can and can't do underneath this state law.
Director Hagerty?
Yeah, just to add a little bit here, the assisted living facilities and nursing homes were the facilities included in the state statute because the residents of those facilities are paying for medical support services that the agencies are then relying on our fire department to provide. RHA, the bulk of RHA residents are not paying RHA to provide medical support services to them. While we wouldn't bill RHA for arriving at the property, when we do arrive and transport a patient, we're billing that individual's health insurance, whatever that may be, for the transport specifically. So, but RHA doesn't staff their facilities with medical professionals to provide medical services like a nursing home or an assisted living facility would.
Understandable. Okay, well, I mean, maybe further thought, but right now thank you.
Any further discussion? Alderwoman Meeks?
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak in your committee. I just want to ask, does an independent living community also apply as the assisted living? I'm familiar with independent living, senior living communities that also do not staff properly in certain times, and so they utilize the fire department very frequently for lift assist. So are they included in this?
The short answer is it depends. The definition of assisted living facility is provided by the state statute, so it requires that three or more persons who reside in a residential setting and are not related to the owner of the residential setting, and it includes a home, an apartment, or other facility. So it's possible that it would be case dependent on the circumstances.
It's case by case,
Yes.
basically. Okay, thank you so much.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you please call the roll on item number 5? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 6 is a proposed amendment regarding committee chair and vice chair selection. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion, a second, any discussion?
Chairman,
Alderman Bell?
make a motion to lay this item over, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for a layover. I believe we need to take a vote on that layover, correct?
There was a second, correct? Yes, the motion to the
Okay. Clerk, could you please call the roll? Aye.
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 Thank you. Moving along to resolutions. We have 2 resolutions before us. Item number 1, River District Association and City of Rockford Street Parklet Program. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Alderwoman Torina?
Thank you. My question is, I really like these parklets. In my head, I call it parklet, but so maybe I'll just flow into that parklet. I really like the one that's in front of Woodfire. My question is, why are we just proposing this for the River District and not all of Rockford?
So, the River District is the business district that has reached out and expressed interest in it. Absolutely, if business districts like, say, Midtown or Broadway Business District were interested, I believe this could be scaled to include them. But at this point, the River District's the only one who's reached out to ask about it.
Would it not just be smarter to just do the whole city at once? So other people do, well, tell me you may have a different reason.
So, I think that it could work in other business districts. I don't know that we would do it throughout the entire city. I don't see these happening over like on East State Street, out east, but.
Midtown's a good example.
Right. If Midtown was interested, this would absolutely be used for that.
I guess what I'm saying is that because there are other districts that could benefit from this, why would we wait for somebody else to ask? Wouldn't it just be cleaner to just do one citywide ordinance that covered the whole city? If it met within the parameters of what was here?
I mean, I guess it could be handled that way, yes, but right now, River District.
Alderman Bell?
Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, sorry.
I'll pass it back to you, Chairman.
Alderman Trina, go ahead.
I guess I don't feel like I got a clear answer on that. Like why, I'm not like, the question is, would it just be cleaner to do it for the whole city?
So I can answer that question, Chairman.
Maybe there's a reason, I just want to understand why.
The primary reason is because we had an operating partner that was willing to do the due diligence in advance of it coming to City of Rockford staff with the River District. If it is the desire of the City Council as a whole to have a parklet program in all the urban areas, we're more than willing to work on that or an expansion.
Is that like a lot of work?
You know, when it's not a tremendous amount of work, no. The historical benefit is it's taken some of the pressure off staff on making sure that the communities and the businesses associated with it accepted it and had the River District do some of that legwork versus landing on the staff or the aldermen of the ward.
Okay, that's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Alderman Bell?
Alderman Thunberg had his hand up. He can go.
No, it's fine.
I'm gathering my thoughts.
Okay. I can vouch for some of what Director Cagnoni said, as I was alderman of most of the River District down there at the time, and when this came through, the River District Association did in fact do a lot of the legwork on it, and it was kind of a unique thing. I appreciate Alderman Trina on proposing for maybe a citywide thing. I can tell you though that what may fly in one area may not fly in another area, and meaning in relation to that, some business owners may be in majority that don't want it. In the case of the River District, there was a couple that were against, and one that was adamantly against, and actually referred to these as hillbilly porches. So that this isn't always accepted in maybe other areas, and that would be kind of a word of caution maybe. If Midtown, for instance, majority of individuals or businesses wanted it, then obviously that shows, but if a majority didn't and it was put through on a citywide level, they really wouldn't have a majority of those people that were against it in Midtown really wouldn't have a say then if it was a citywide initiative. So.
Yeah, good point. The chief concern I hear is usually safety in the streets with these type of parklets too. So, thank you, Alderman Thunberg. Alderman Bell?
I mean, probably like others, I want a definition of what a hillbilly is, but I'll move on. I think that should be redacted out of the minutes. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this item. The River District, I have some of the River District in the 13th Ward, along with yourself, and I believe maybe even Alderwoman Torino. The River District, like the 3rd Ward Alderman I mentioned, has advocated for this. I am in favor of exploring the opportunity in other areas, and so, I mean, maybe staff, if you guys want to meet with this specific alderman or propose something of that nature. But I do think separating the areas would be ideal, given the fact that we've done this already in the River District, and so we're bringing this back. Is that correct, Mr. Pignoni? So this is, we're bringing this
We've done
back.
this in the past, and we are bringing it back in the bigger district. Correct.
And I could imagine that there could be some traffic stipulations or what have you, or modifications, I should say, in other areas. And so maybe that programming plan has to be created specifically for them. But should it come forward, I'm definitely in support of expanding this program.
Thank you, Alderman Bell. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you please call the roll on item number 1? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Final item on the agenda, item number 2, request for authorization to allow the zoning officer to file text amendments for multiple sections of the zoning ordinance. Is there a motion on the floor?
So
There's a motion and a second. Alderwoman Torina.
Let's make a motion to move this item over, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second to lay the item over. Clerk, could you please call the roll on the layover? No.
Aye.
Aye.
Laid over. Thank you. Well, that concludes the Code and Regulation Committee meeting for this evening. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion, a second.